Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, I got a lot of questions from folks about land. The real estate wholesaler, and they go, "Hey, I saw some YouTube deal, or somebody talked to me about land at the local RIA club, or I was on TikTok and some, whatever about land, and I want to get into land. It seems like there's not a whole lot of competition, and yeah, it's true. There's probably not as much competition, but doing land a long time. And the question is, well, okay, yeah, I like land. It's really cool. I'm excited about, but now what do I do? I mean, how do I know, right? I mean, the challenge is obviously with the property wholesaling houses, right? You get to know what your buyer's building, or what their rehab cost is. We talked a lot about this in a lot of my videos in here and so forth. Um, and some guys, they want the big gnarly stuff, egress, windows, septic, maybe do an addition, all that kind of stuff. Other guys just want carpet and paint in this particular zip code, whatever it is, and then you just kind of know what their cost is. This house is built in the 1970s and needs 30 grand worth of work, and you buy it for 100, put 40 into it, sell for 200, boom, right? Pretty right? That's how you do it. A house. Land's different because land is land. Okay, so the question is, oh gosh, I really like land. I'm really excited about what I'm going to do about it. Well, here, you want the answer? This is the answer. It's all about exit strategy. Okay, what kind of land is? What is somebody going to build on it? You're not going to make any money in this business, okay, unless you're bringing value to both the seller and the buyer. In this case, okay, a buyer is going to buy this piece of land for 50 grand. And do what? How is that buyer going to make money on that? Does that make sense? Ask yourself that. What could a buyer put on this lot, right? So you want to get to know your buyer builders. What I mean by that is, what are they buying? Okay. And I want to tell you right now, if you think, gosh, I saw these guys, they're building a 120 home subdivision down the street, and gosh, if I could just get in with those guys, I could make a whole bunch of money. I could be a millionaire. Golly gee, that cat running that outfit, who owns it, or the partners who are running it, you're not going to be able. They don't know who you are. You're not going to help. They're not going to want to do business with you. They don't need you. Does that make sense? It's humbling, but they don't. Okay. So don't be delusional, like, oh, if I just could meet those guys with all that money, boy, we could be millionaires together. They don't need you. Trust me. Okay. So how do you get into that? How do you get into the barrier of entry, right? The barrier of entry is just simply by knowing buyer builders, guys that build maybe a house a month or maybe 6 houses a year, right? They have a crew of guys that are looking for lots to build. Meet those guys. They're all over the place. Meet them through your title company, through your local RIA club, your local Facebook group, right? Whatever. Get to know what their business model is. And so here's the thing. So this has to do with comping land. Exit strategy. So if your buyer builder is going to be buying a house, building a house there, what's this cost per square foot? Typically, buyer builders, they have, maybe a 1,200 square footer, a 1,600 square footer, a 2,200 square footer, maybe a big one, a 3,800 square footer. And they know they could build for, just throw numbers out, 110 a square foot, and they could sell for 210 a square foot. Build for 110, sell for 210. That arbitrage is how they make their money, right? So you just do the math. And so when you look at a piece of land, right, you're just going to say, hey, Bob the Builder, I got an idea for you. You get this lot, you could build that one house, the Windsor, that's a 1,600 square footer that you're selling a lot of, the people like, with the open floor plan and all that good stuff. You could build it for 110 and you could sell it for 210 or whatever it is per square foot. Chances are Bob the Builder is going to go, hey, let's do some business. Does that make sense? So this presupposes on your end as a, we'll say, wholesaler in particular land, get to know your buyer's business model, right? Get to know their exit strategy. What are they going to do there? Well, how do I do that? Ask. Show up. Meet them at the job site. Hey, man, you're building this nice house. How much your cost per square foot? All right, and they'll tell you. Okay, so that's the best way to know how to comp land. Then you got to know the exit strategy. Never forget that. So many people call me up. Hey, I got this house, and it's on an acre and a half. You think you'll like it? Oh, someone's going to really like this house. It's got some trees on it too. Well, okay, but what are they going to do with it? Raise ostriches? I don't know. Have a fox farm? I mean, you tell me. Right. So know the business, the the exit strategy. Hope that helps. If you need help, you want some, talk about just maybe JV together. You need, just a free strategy session. Do a Zoom call and help you out. Just let me know below. Schedule time. I'll walk you through it. Godspeed and talk to you soon.